Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The Yankees fend off the Guardians. They advance to the ALCS against the Astros. We're going to recap Game 5 and preview the ALCS. Let's do it. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. It's brought to you by SeatGeek. Code JOHNBOY Playoffs get you 10% off any ticket. They're doing everything with us this postseason. My name's Jimmy. We got Jake here, Trev, BBD. We are going to recap Game 5, Yankees-Guardians, and then preview ALCS. Jake, let's burn the game.
See you in a minute, Trev. Soft. Win or go home in the boogie down Bronx. Are you the one they call Cortez? Nestor Cortez on short rest, going against Aaron, hoping to not be a run. Civ Ali for the Guardians, getting the controversial start. And Trev, bottom one, hit the music. Giancarlo, let the rhythm take you over, Giancarlo. Te quiero, 3-run homers. It's 3-0, and if you're judging Savali, so is the big fella. Aaron Judge, he goes yard off of henches. He henches and benches. It's 4-0 Yankees. In the third, the Cleveland Bloops. We've got contact on the field. It was Ramirez. 1 run scores, but Nestor works out of it. And he did all day. 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run to the Yankee bullpen. They get the insurance RBI from Riz, but Johnny, Clay, and Wandy, the greasers in the back of the Yankees bullpen, shut them down. Yankees win 5-1. They're dancing in the streets, and then they're getting on a plane to H-Town, Funky Town, Bay City, Race City, city where the top drops, city where Kelsey's from. Yankees win 5-1 final.
Wow, what a burn. What a burn, Jake. 100 miles per hour, 24,000 spin rate, 17 inches of vertical break, 0 inches of horizontal break. 4-seam fastball, Garrett Cole. It's brought to you by Rapsodo. They tell you all those numbers. We wanted to get one for the warehouse, but they don't pick up blitz balls, Trev, so we're shit out of luck, which is a bummer. Rapsodo, make it so it picks up blitz balls. Yes, if you are a high school player, if you're a high school coach, if you're a college coach, if you have youth academies of camps and you want to get a Rapsodo because you want to train your players or yourself to be the best that you can be, Rapsodo is where you need to go. Trusted and used by all 30 MLB teams and over 350 MLB players, used by over 1,200 colleges, facilities, 175,000 players and 7,000 coaches. It's pitching smart. Pitching 2.0 helps with pitch design analysis like never before. I really want this for the warehouse. I think it'd be so fun. We'll wait until they have the blitzball version. Go to rapsodo.com/JohnBoy. Click the link in the description for a special discount up to $1,000 off the hitting and pitching 2.0 unit. So yes, you know, when I coached youth baseball, I would have got this. Would have been just fun to have. $1,000 off.
Hooked up to this already.
Rapsodo.com/JohnBoy to receive a special discount. Yankees win Game 5, Trev. Jake and I have talked a lot about this already. So I'm interested to hear what you got on it.
I feel like a lot of this is going to come off as hindsight, right? But even before this game, we talked about the starting pitching decisions. Booney, I don't know if it was him or Nestor running into his office and saying, like, I'm pitching, but they decided to go Nestor on short rest. I don't think he had done it since he was in the minor leagues or something like that.
As
a
starter.
Yeah, as a starter. On the other side, you have Cleveland, and you have a guy named Shane Bieber who, from the get-go, they said they were not going to use. So you're going with Savali there. The one thing that I have a problem with, I don't care that they made that decision, but if you're going to say that Bieber is available out of the pen in an emergency, guess what Game 5 of the ALDS is? It's kind of an emergency. That's the way I think about it. But I respect Tito's decision. Like I get it's admirable. He's trying to keep Bieber healthy. Do I think the game changes if Bieber starts? I think it does. I mean, the one thing we said was you can't have Savali get out there and give up a lead early in the game, because that is exactly what each team is trying to do, get out in front and then, ride it the rest of the way. Savali ends up giving the 3-run jack. Giancarlo, beautiful swing. That was probably his hitting coach, Luke Ponzatella. He went fishing, right?
Luca Ponzatanzi.
Whatever that is, same thing.
My cousin.
But that ended up being it. Like I keep going back to the Cleveland pitching side. Like, could you have started Henches to Stefan to Karinchak to Clase? Like, if you're gonna go bullpen game and they have such a short leash, then why don't you just go like your best guys?
Yeah, I think that's
the Yankee side. Nestor they thought was going to be like their best option to start, so that's why they went with him. I think you just put your best 4 or 5 guys out there, and I don't know if Savali at the time is that.
Yeah, that's where it's getting muddied up a little for some. Like, I don't think it's Savali or Bieber, right? Like, even if you're not pitching Bieber, you still don't need to squeeze the 1 or 2 that you were hoping out of Savali. You have better arms. Eli Morgan probably better option than him, because he hadn't pitched in the series yet. Now it's an elimination game, and he's starting and getting those guys. Rizzo has owned him. And then Stanton and Judge, and he gets Judge out. But yeah, I mean, Jake and I were saying the Yankees formula is, if Savali's pitching for 1 inning, you need to get runs on that inning. And I asked for a 2-run home run in the first. That was like this is what we need. And they got a 3-run homer. So Yankees really took advantage, because, if Savali squeaks out a clean inning, and I think that's what they were hoping for, then it's like, oh shit.
And look, if this game ends up going extras and like you're worried about like not having enough pitching, then you can throw Savali then.
Bieber,
if he's going to be like a guy that you're trying to get a couple innings out of, he's still going to be that in your emergency. I don't know. This is all like Monday morning quarterback type.
Not really,
because
it's
not. We talked about before the series too.
This was the whole conversation before the game, and that's where I'll baby Mad Dog Russo a little bit. If I'm Bieber, man, I know we're dealing with Francona, one of the most respected guys in the game, but I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't have that dog in him, but wouldn't you want the pill? Like, your season's now over, and you didn't pitch. And I know it's the future of baseball, and we're worried about he threw 200 innings this regular season. Like, Bieber, it registers as one of the bigger horses in baseball currently. That I don't know. If you have the two mindsets, if Terry Francona says, hey, we're not doing opener BS, I want a starting pitcher to start the game, so I don't look at it. Because say they started Henches and he gives up 2 home runs, you'd say, well, Henches never started. He used a bullpen guy. So if you're going to go with the starting pitcher mentality, it's got to be Bieber. Or if you're going to go the other way, then it's probably Stefan, who was dominant again for a little bit, and he came up as a starter recently. So at least he can tap into that. But, I mean, throwing Savali out there, I know you said Monday morning quarterback because we're recording after and it feels that way, and if he survived 2 innings, but the whole conversation for 2 days leading into this game was like, they're not going to start Savali, right? And I feel rude because he's a CT guy. I love Connecticut. But a lot of Guardians fans said, he was essentially the last pitcher on the roster, and in a do-or-die game, that's how you're going to go down. It has to be a brutal feeling.
Because he's Francona and he has a lot of built up trust and legacy, and he does, and I'm not countering this, he deserves it. If this was a rookie manager or Aaron Boone or some manager that doesn't have this wall and shield of respect, I mean, the replay situation shot themselves in the foot terribly as well. They get 2 replays just blatantly wrong in game 4. And I don't know. I've tried to find quotes. I haven't seen any. I don't know if it's in, but they get 2 wrong in game 4. And Jake said on the show, be on the lookout in game 5 if there's a replay and they don't challenge it because they're scared because they lost their challenges last time. And I mean, clear as day, safe at first. And they don't challenge it, and that gets Nestor out of the inning, which sets him back on to have like, another quick inning. And I think anyone else would be getting absolutely killed over this. And I haven't seen much to do about it.
Yeah, it's baffling. I'm not really sure because it wasn't like a bang bang play and maybe the call in the field stands, whatever. Like this was clearly he was safe. And the way like the Guardians have kind of scored runs, even in the comeback there, like they have been able to string together hits, and you can string together hits against Nestor. Like at least start chipping away. It's crazy to me that didn't happen. So yeah, I agree with you. Tito does have a ton of just runway with people, and he deserves it because he's been around. He is a very good manager. But two kind of decisions that obviously we're looking back on right now and talking about it. Like the clubhouse dynamic with the Bieber and Savali thing, I think there's something to be said about that. Like Bieber has to go like low key into Tito's office and be like, "Give me the ball," and then there's a discussion.
Maybe he's dealing with something. Who knows? We have no
idea.
idea.
Exactly. We don't know everything, and like you don't want to be so vocal about it. In the press and stuff if you're Bieber, because look, this guy's your rotation mate and you have trust in him and you've gotten there with him. He didn't have a great year, but like you can't be blowing dudes up like that. So it sucks that we're looking back at a game 5 and being like, man, like there was a couple questionable decisions here.
Yeah. But on the Yankee side, Nestor shut him down. I mean, their one run came when two fielders ran into each other. A ball dropped, and then Nestor had a 4-pitch walk after the lengthy delay, and that was it. That 4-pitch walk after the delay is the only real blemish because then he gets a fly ball from Jose Ramirez. It ends up being a sac fly, and then he gets another fly ball from who's up? Oscar was up after him then,
yeah,
and that's it. But otherwise, then Nestor shut down 8 in a row. So I mean, he was awesome.
That bases loaded situation, man. Well, first of all, like, do you guys just need to put like a permanent outfielder in like short left field? Like, just put someone.
It'd be cool if they played in against the Guardians. It would have been like cool if after game 2, when everyone was saying, and I was saying, hey, how about we play in? They decided to play in. They didn't put one ball over a left fielder's head all series.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I feel bad for Hicks and that whole. Yeah. But great pitches by Nestor in that situation. Obviously, that's the Guardians' chance to get back in the game. You have, probably your 2 best hitters going. Obviously, Ramirez is one of them, but he was just getting in there. They were not getting those hands through, Jakey boy. Like he throws 95, so he dials it up a little bit to Ramirez, so he jams him there, and then I think he cut the one in on Gonzalez. Maybe I'm remembering them backwards, but either way, like he was owning the inside part of the plate. And that's what you have to do. If you're a lefty like him, and that's what he does. But 2 pitches there, like if he misses his spot, like just a little bit over the plate, those could be home runs and grand slams. We're talking about a tie game, but he doesn't miss the spot. He gets in there. And the damage was not done.
Bullpen ended up being really strong for the Yankees this series. Loaizaga, Holmes, and Peralta, they're a bullpen. Wandy Peralta, becoming a person of folklore, pitched in all 5 ALDS games, the first person to do that. Got a little help with some rains and some horrible scheduling. But yeah, the Yankees pitching came to show. I mean, they put up a 1 spot, and if the Yankees defense or one play even goes differently, I think it's a 0 in a do or die game at the stadium. I think for a 4:00 after a rain out, the stadium got to a good spot. Crowd-wise, I think, having the lead in that first inning, which brings us back to Stanton and the offense, and Judge following it up in the second inning. Stanton and Judge, the 2 big boys, 3-run homer, which, basically, I don't want to say ended it because you're, one good swing from Jose Ramirez, and you're right. But yeah, the Yankees dominated this game in a business-like fashion, and you just end up harping like we do in every playoff game. Early runs, which ties into the whole Savali and Nestor thing. And then, the Yankees, Yankees back against the walls for 2 games. They had the lead in both games. They scored in the first inning, and they kept the lead the whole time. They were up 3-0 in the second inning after each game, and they held lead the whole time. So that's when they had to, they tapped into it, and they deserve credit for that.
And we have a stat here when the Guardians/Indians backs against the wall recently. It's been pretty ugly. They have now lost their last 11 elimination games. They got to start playing Jewel.
Yeah.
Man. From 97 to 2022, every elimination game they've lost, they've never won one. Like the Yankees just won one to get game 4, to get to game 5. That's a wild stat.
That's not a good stat.
No.
What did you guys think of the whole Naylor situation?
That was fun. I mean, that's like, to me, I'm sure some Yankee fans were doing it with a lot of like venom and being assholes about it. But to me, that stuff is fun. That's like it to me, it felt, especially with his comments afterward, felt more Jesse Winker and the Mets than like hatred. And Glaber doing it back after the win, whatever. I mean, that's all fun.
I loved it. Yeah, shoot. Yeah. Go ahead, Jake.
I mean, well, Naylor, it's what we talk about whenever this comes up. Trev, you say do it. If you do it, make sure you keep doing it. Or if you don't do it, then don't do it. Naylor had done this a few times. Like, if it was his first time and he busted out against Garrett Cole and we were all like, whoa, what's up, guy? But no, Naylor's been crazy all year. He's busted this out. And yeah, you know, he knew what was coming when he hit a line drive to short, which again, if perfect positioning there by the Yankees infield, you know, he put on that big Cheshire Cat smile and knew what he was about to get. So yeah, it's where the fun is supposed to kick in with sports, and the Yankees wags are doing it. And yeah, I mean, it's not even egg on your face for Naylor, because it's not like he had a quote that was like, we already won this series. He's like, no, I hit a homer off Cole. He's my son.
He's my son.
And that's how I operate now. And I mean, I got to send it to Trev. I sent it to a couple people this morning, but the clip of Garrett Cole with the Budweiser bottle.
I saw that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's so
I want to touch briefly on the Naylor thing. Then I do want to talk about the celebration. It was going to be a great outcome either way. Like, if Naylor takes that game over and hits like a bomb and like they win the game, then he is going to be baby rocking all over the stadium in front of everyone. And we're going to be like, damn, that dude is living right now. But ends up Yankees win, Glaber. And clearly they had talked about this. And this was something in the clubhouse, because there was another like Cabrera thing where he was mouthing like, you're my son, possibly.
Maybe.
And then for Glaber to have the wherewithal to do that, he obviously thought about it before,
oh yeah,
but I loved it. And I love that Naylor was okay with it afterwards. He said that was a dream come true for me to play in like a situation like that. So
you have to be.
Yeah,
Naylor seems like the most unaware, self-aware person ever. The kid seems like he knows he blacks out after big plays, and he just has to eat it.
Is he on Pete Alonso's tier for you? Like that kind of?
No, he's like Votto's little brother who grew up with Votto as his like confidence. They're like the crazy Canadians.
Okay. Baseball. A little Gronk before Gronk got realized he was Gronk.
He's a light switch. You ever hear his interviews? He's like the most humble, quiet spoken
I have.
person ever. And I think he knows to balance out what he does in between the lines. He's got to be, you know, all the way here in his interviews. I don't know. I like it. I really enjoyed Naylor. The Guardians are a pesky team. It's a really tough way. You need J-Ram or Oscar or someone to start hitting home runs for you. You need one bopper in there if Franmil was around to hit homers, because again, the Yankees out-homered him and won. And it's hard to string so many hits together unless the Yankees are letting balls drop that shouldn't be dropped. But Quan is a motherfucker. God, I'm glad I don't got to see him anymore. Now I just got to see.
Yeah, see the Astros. Do you think they're kicking themselves, the Guardians front office, for not maybe thinking this could happen and like going and possibly getting a bat?
The front office popped champagne. Said we spent $30 million and just went to the
yeah,
game
but
5
they could have spent $35 million.
Dude, they made back their payroll with those 2 games, or those 4 home games in the postseason probably made them back their payroll.
If they knew where they were going to end up, I think you'd have a potential better righty platoon option for Naylor, because he was a lot.
Yeah.
He was versus lefties this year, and in the playoffs it was a tough matchup for them. And then the other thing, not a shots fired. Guy's a kid, and he had the sexiest hair I've seen this playoff. Gabriel Arias was playing first base for them. I think a veteran bat in that spot would have changed the whole lineup. Because Hedges and Straw, I was talking some junk early on in the series because those two players are out there for defense. They had fine at bats, and they, Hedges ends up having a really nice series. If Arias and Naylor had a platoon option, I think that would have been game changing. But can't know that. And
Hedges had a 417 on base percentage. The other numbers aren't there, but when you're batting in the bottom of that lineup, all you're supposed to do is pass the baton. And he 8 pitches and passed the baton, so he had a really good series. He was frustrating as well.
October could have been great, No, they don't really need him, but maybe like a Mancini or something could have worked out for them.
Yeah. They're probably, the front office is probably still very happy with this season.
They're happy, 100%.
Yeah,
and they should be.
All right,
young team.
And the Yankees move on now to face Houston. No off day. Just get on the plane, do your champagne celebration, get to Houston. Play the Astros game 1. Verlander's waiting. 9 innings and then 9 innings. Brought to you by MO 9 innings, Jake's favorite phone game. You like baseball? You like using your phone? Why don't you combine the two? They got a wide variety of game modes from league mode. Users play through a season. Jake, you like league mode or do you like head to head? You like league mode.
I'm a league mode guy. You know me, Jim.
Yeah. They got over 2,000 player cards, the most up-to-date rosters, team logos, full 3D modeling is implemented. They got historic players on the roster. Have some fun. The league mode guy, but just challenge him head-to-head, nonstop. All up his MLB 9 innings notifications. Download and play MLB 9 innings 22 today with the link in the description. Don't let the thrill of baseball end when you are up and about. Download and play MLB 9 innings 22. The link is in the description. Houston sweeps Seattle. 3 close games. Houston didn't have a lead in the 6th inning of any of the 3 games, but end up beating them. Yankees go to game 5 against the Guardians. I think Astros are the huge favorite here, Trev, right?
I think so, just because of the way the pitching's lining up. I'm trying to piece together everything. There's some, decisions on when Cole will go, because he can either pitch on 1 day short rest and then be able to come back, I think, for game 6, or you have him for game 3 and 7, I guess.
I think they're going to go 3 and 7.
So, yeah, because the Astros get to line up the pitching, I think there's an advantage there. But then again, how many days off have the Astros had?
4?
They last played on Saturday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Maybe the offense comes out flat, dude. They didn't really come out that flat. They scored right away, I believe. No, they didn't. They came out flat against the Mariners.
Yeah, Alvarez won it in the 9th. Bregman hit a homer.
So there's that you can look at in this series. Maybe they found a better plan in between on this time when they had time off to get the offense to stay on time and whatnot. But I think you probably have to look at, the Astros as the favorite in this series. Although, man, what these playoffs have told us is it's kind of about certain guys stepping up. The bottom of the lineup, your guys in front hitting homers. Both these teams can do that.
The Astros have been a better team since the second half of the year. The Yankees got off to their incredible start. And then things kind of fall apart. Oh, Joe's McFly just showed up in the office, probably hung over. Some of the worst tweets I've ever seen last night. The Yankees are going to have to steal 1 or 2 games. I'll say something kind of even more Jakey douchey about the last series. Like the Guardians, in hindsight, they took that extra innings game where Tyone came in and the Yankees defense and the Bloop Festival happened. And then they got walked off when they put up a guy in a closing situation that's never really been in a true closing situation. So, looking back at it that way, the Yankees, had a chance to really easily kind of win all 5 of those games. They ended up in a dogfight with their season on the line because the Guardians got 2 of them. And the Yankees are going to have to get to, whether it's Presley at the end, who they've had success against. This opening game in Houston, I mean, I use Jake brain. I like to put logic and the nerds aside when I can. The Yankees are going to be running hot. Like you said, Houston hasn't played in a few days. The Yankees are coming off a plane. The boys partied a little bit last night. They had a good time.
Just a little bit.
And they didn't even have the time to think about, really, we're going to play the big bad wolf. No, they're showing up in Houston. They're going to the field, and it's going to be time to play ball that, yeah, if you can put a couple up there, if Tyone can give you an effort, you didn't really burn the bullpen in a do-or-die game like you kind of thought you were going to. If you could steal that first game in Houston, that would feel all important, and we're going to 7. Like I would just let that out there instantly. If we end up talking on this show in a couple days and we're like, yeah, the Yankees had to come straight from New York. They played in Houston and they got beat in those first 2 games, and you're playing game 3 at the stadium, basically season on the line, right? Down 2-0. I think the Yankees can win that game and come back in the series because their pitching will actually be lined up pretty well there. It'll be Cole, then Nestor for the first 2 games at the stadium. But down 2-0 to Houston, that's a fool's errand. That's a fool's errand.
Yeah, you said you don't have time to think about going and into the Wolves' den, but you still got to go in the Wolves' den, bro. You still have freaking Verlander, Framber, and McCullers Jr. lined up. Not to mention probably Javier for 4. So this, there's not a massive drop off too in this pitching staff. You're going to get those 3 guys, top 3 guys twice, and you're going to get Javier in between plus that bullpen. So there's just no letting up here. And then you have to try to, contain that offense, which is no easy task. So this is going to be a very, very difficult series for the Yankees. And in fact, I'm looking at a stat here. The last 3 times they face each other, 2015 wild card game, Astros win. 17 ALCS, we don't have to talk about that one, but they send them home. Then 2019 also. 5-2 against them this year. So this has been all Astros.
Yeah, I mean,
17
17 went game 7, and there was some shit going on. 19, still some stuff going on, and it went game 6. But the Yankees had no pitching staff, or they did, but
19
no one
was
pitched
the homer.
Altuve off of the game 6 homer. But that being said, yeah, I know all that stuff matters. There's 2 Yankees that were on the 17 team that are on this team, Judge and Severino.
I'm just stating facts. I'm just
I know. But no, but everyone's gonna do that, and it is part of the storyline. It's just
because you guys do it about Minnesota, bro. So let me throw it at you a little bit.
No, it's a big bugaboo. I'm agreeing. I'm just saying they didn't clobber them those games. They were really tight series. The Astros came away victor, and I do think that the Astros are the better team right now. Yankees have no left fielder. That's a tough place to be. Hicks out. They don't have a left.
No, that means that ICAF is your shortstop again. That's what that means.
Not today, not in Houston, but I think in Yankee Stadium it might. I think
they'll let Stanton play the small left field there.
Stanton or Carpenter is my guess for games in Houston with Oswaldo at shortstop, which I like.
I see that.
But at Yankee Stadium, we'll see when the roster comes out. It might be Oswaldo back in left and IKF at shortstop again.
You know what, though? IKF is the perfect person to be able to do that, dude. You guys, mentally and the kind of person he is, he's I'll play whenever you need me to play, and he'll really mean it. And I think that has to.
Sure, but he got benched for having the yips in big moments.
It might scare you, but it's not going to scare him, is all I'm saying.
And more importantly, if he
Trev, he got benched because he gets scared in big moments.
He made some errors. Doesn't mean he's scared.
Well, they say, he presses. All of his errors come late in close games or when Cole starts.
He we will see what happens. There's a couple wild cards for this Yankee roster. They're going to have Ron Marinaccio coming back, who's supposed to be a weapon out of their bullpen. Montas may be back. DJ LeMahieu may be back. Peraza, the prospect shortstop, may be on the roster. So we're very excited to see when the roster drops. We're going to be doing a pregame show on Talkin Yanks. Come check that out. But yeah, it's going to the shortstop left field discussion for the Yankees will continue. It being in Houston in one of the smaller left fields, that is a plus for the Yanks. If this was another spacious, if they were playing in Coors, the Yankees would have some serious roster problems and discussions. And yeah, man, I mean, it's Trav, you've been talking in this whole playoffs about the playoff series. I'm now excited to see the turn of, Harrison Bader hit 3 yackers and was one of the scarier dudes on the field. Jimmy mentioned Altuve from the last Astros series. He put up an 0-for, right? I'm interested to see who stays hot. Whose series are going to absolutely flip? Because, like Jim said, if I had to bet $20 at the DK Lounge, I would bet on Altuve having a great series because that's how it often works. So I'm super interested to see the flow. And, Wandy Peralta became a problem for the Guardians. Whenever he came out, he was the bad man. Who are going to be the bad men both ways, and who's going to have each other's team licking their chops in a, 7 games compared to 5 feels like a breath of fresh air, but still, those storylines are going to continue.
And it is funny. You look at the Astros, and Altuve gets no hits, but not a lot of the Astros players have great stats because they went 17 innings scoreless in the game 3, which really hurts a lot of the batting averages. I mean, Jordan's got a 1 OPS. Bregman had a good series. Yuli had a good series. Pena's numbers aren't great, but I know that he did very, very clutch things for them by getting on in front of the big
really good
Alvarez homers. He got on the Bregman homer that he hit was with 2 outs, and Pena gets on, and then they walk Alvarez, and then Bregman hits the homer. So that's Pena starting that. So Pena might be my Quan factor. Where I'm not scared that you're gonna beat me right now, but I'm scared that you're gonna you're the invitation, hey, you're just a heads up, you're about to get beat if you let me on or I get on. So I'm a little worried about Pena. And Altuve needs to get a hit in his first or second at bat. Otherwise, I think, hopefully it starts creeping in, especially with the Yankees' 4th starter, a guy that didn't even make a start in the DS on the bump in Tyone.
This is how I thought the pitching was going to line up in these after the wild card round in the divisional series. It really didn't end up that way. There was enough off days where people could kind of figure out their pitching. But what you guys have set up, the Yankees I'm talking about now, as the starters, I mean, this is probably the least favorable you could end up having. And I think that's important in this series. I mean, you guys
for
have
sure.
Nestor in 4, and that's the only time he's going to get the pitch, unless he comes in on a short rest in game 7 or something like that in relief. It's kind of daunting.
The spin zone as Yankee fans who understand that we are in the short end is that if you steal one of the Tyone and Sevy games and you have the lead and you come back and now you have Cole,
But you got him versus McCullers Jr.
Because,
it's not
split on the road, but then you got a 5-game series with home field advantage, and now you're lined up perfectly for the 5-game set. But you have to win 2 in Houston, and they've only won 1 playoff game in Houston ever. So
really? I thought there was that one series where each team won all the home games.
Well, yeah. So Houston won in Houston.
Or no, all the road team. I don't know what
that was the World Series against the Nats.
Oh, yeah.
They had all the road wins.
Yeah, you guys went in that one.
Not involved.
Yeah.
What do you guys got? I mean, are we doing that now?
What's that?
Pretty sure I know who you guys are going to pick.
I mean, I'm not going to not pick the Yankees, but if I was making the Vegas odds, I wouldn't.
What are they? Let's go check that out.
Astros are a scary team. They're really good. Their bullpen can scare themselves, and the Yankees have gotten to it, so I like that. But man, they no hit the Yankees. Their starting pitching is really good. Verlander just got rocked, so I'm hoping that Mariners, is anyone on Mariners friends with any Yankees? Can they go like, hey, this is how we rocked him the 2 times we rocked him this year, and just like give him a heads up? That'd be cool.
Give me Game 3 at the stadium. McCullers Jr. versus Cole. I mean, that's what I want. That's what I want. Take one in Houston, and I think the Yanks can do it. If you don't take one of the first 2, that's too big of a hill. They're too good. Their pitching's deeper. You can't do that. You got to get one of the first 2 in Houston. And I don't know. Are we going to be spitting excuses in a couple days? I hope not.
Well, not an excuse. I don't trust the Yankees' decision-making, so I trust the talent. I really wanted Benny back. I would have felt much better about this series if Benintendi was back. But the fact that we don't know who's going to play left field at Yankee Stadium is kind of wild.
Minus 185 for the Astros on the series, plus 150 for the Yankees. If Judge and Stanton ride this momentum and start hitting some homers, then we really, really got a series here. You guys have watched more Judge at bats than I have this year. He takes the homer, or not the homer. He takes the off-speed pitch, kind of right center there. That's where he needs to live. Does that lock him in that quickly? Because they pretty much handled him in this series, the Guardians.
Yeah, he had the homer.
Now.
No, I don't think he's locked in now. His hits came on curveballs that I think he was sitting on curveballs. So
they threw him a lot of curveballs.
Judge is at his best when he's hitting the slider, the fastball in, and he's reacting and swinging to those. So the 2 hits in Game 5 there were really nice, but they were it looked like to me, sitting curve, get a curve, hit the curve, which is great to do when you're slumping, to just choose a pitch and hammer it. But Judge is at his best when he is, throw me something inside, slider, fastball. I don't give a shit. I'll hit it. And he's going to get sliders and fastballs from Verlander this game. So Verlander's got really good numbers against Judge. So we'll see.
How about this take? Judge and Stanton are my X factors.
That's good.
If they get going and they hit homers, you see what 3-run homers do.
You got a pen?
3-run homers win you series.
Homers win you series. Stanton's a beast, man. He's got 10 homers the last 15 games or something like that. I mean, his overall numbers, I don't know what they are,
so
but
you said Stanton Judge?
Mark that down, everybody. Just really beautiful insight from you there. But it's true. Dude, if these guys get on a tear, they can carry a series. One of them can carry a series, let alone 2 of them. Now, we saw homers in Game 5. Stanton's not the most consistent dude, but he can catch fire. Judge has been consistent, but he hit a little lull.
A bad motherfucker, dude.
Have you seen what he's been doing, Trev? I'm going to make a breakdown on it because I love it so much. Have you seen what Stanton's been doing in the box?
Yeah, I've watched. What do you mean?
Okay, so he has been getting in the box. The pitcher's ready to hit. He steps in. He gets ready. He goes, time. Lou says time, and then he says thanks.
Just resets up.
Doesn't do anything. Doesn't step out of the box. He just wants the pitcher to be the second one to the at-bat, to the pitch,
It's my at-bat.
My at-bat. You have to pitch to me. I'm not waiting for you to pitch, or you're, and then he's homered twice. But it's cracking me up. Time doesn't adjust a thing. Just makes the pitcher step off and step back on the plate. It's cracking me up.
No offense. It's one of the sillier looking swings in baseball. It is something else, but it works. This guy's a
dude's
borderline
chopping
Hall of Famer.
trees.
He's probably going to hit 500 home runs. You heard it here first. Mark that down.
Oh.
That's the chance for the Yankees, though. It really is. I'm sorry, dude. These guys have to go on a tear.
I mean, I think that
500
it's more than that. I mean, Judge and Stan can hit homers. They can still lose this series. You need like what Pena was doing. Like you need Alvarez couldn't have won the games for them if they were solo shots. You need Glaber on base. You need Rizzo on base.
You need 3-run homers, but these guys are the ones that are going to have to hit them. I'm taking the Astros in this series. I think they're just too good right now.
Listen, I'd be
500
surprised if
homers,
a lot of
potential.
third-party fans don't take the Astros. I think they're the favorite.
They are.
I hope the Yankees muster up a win in the first 2 games and then have some fun at home.
500 homer, potential Hall of Fame, Stanton. Okay.
All right, Jake. Any last thoughts,
Full
Jake?
Yankees insight.
This is good. Would really love to see the shortstop kid Peraza on the roster. I can't believe it until I see it, because that would throw a little wrinkle in this, and we could have a lot of fun young players that could be starting the next part of Houston, New York on the field. But yeah, man, let's see. And dude, when you look at Fangraphs and you look at Houston and their starting pitching stats and their relief pitching stats, they are a better team. The Yankees would have to steal 1, if not 2 games in this series to give themselves a chance. I hope they do. Because I'm a Yankees fan. Bah, wooga, wooga, wooga.
You're so fucking
Alex
biased,
Bregman,
dude.
baby. Let's go.
Wooga, wooga, wooga.